I'm Marcus.
And I'm Preston, and welcome to Filmaholics Unscripted.
Today, we're going to be reviewing The Revenant.
But first, intro.
The Revenant is directed by Alejandro G. Inarritu, and stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy.
If you haven't seen the movie yet, this is going to have some spoilers, so be prepared for that. And if you have seen the movie, I'm not really sure why you're watching it, but it'd be nice to know, so put it in the comments, or if you actually watch this. Our initial take, I think the movie is really good. And
It's a great ride. You're in for a very surreal experience. Great action, great acting.
really good acting.
Really intense.
As much as I think the movie is very, very good and very, very well made, there are scenes that, as beautiful as they may be, are drawn out way longer than need to be. Like, if you're going through the clouds, it looks beautiful, but
nice.
Don't need 30-40 seconds of that. But I have seen other reviews where people have said that the director got a little bit too into how beautiful it looked and wanting to show it off, as opposed to just letting the movie be
Little camera happy rather than story happy.
Yeah, which is fine. For people like us, you know, and anybody else out there like us, they'll probably enjoy it just for the cinematography. But for a lot of the average viewer, they're going to just want it to kind of keep going.
You're going to want to move along the story instead of staring at this nice landscape for another 25 seconds.
I'm sure even if you haven't seen the movie, you've heard about the bear attack. Marcus isn't a big fan of blood or violence or anything like that. So when we get onto our horror movie reviews, be prepared. Those will be fun.
It was very hard for me to watch at times, not gonna lie, but I thought it was one of the better scenes in the film. I really thought it looked great. Very terrifying. Definitely don't want to ever have that happen to me.
You know,
no thanks.
It's like the one like the black guy on the edge.
Oh, yes.
It was like that. I was like, that guy. Oh, that would be like the worst way to go. Oh, that's probably
mauled.
But that's not a good way to go.
No, you just every time the bear keeps coming back at him, you feel like you're getting hit.
At one point, I was literally just like, just stop moving, just play dead. And you even told me like, oh, well, it was coming back. I'm like, yeah, well, they do that. Just play dead. Hopefully they'll leave you alone.
That's true.
That would have been what I did, or I probably would have been dead already, I guess. I think that the CGI used on the bear, even though it's not bad, I don't think it's going to hold up for a substantial period of time. And being as the rest of the movie was done with all natural lighting and no green screens or anything, to have something CGI in it, maybe that's why it doesn't look like it fits. It's just because it really just doesn't fit, because everything else is so real.
Yeah, it's true. You can tell it's CGI, but
the scene is still very good.
Yeah, I still thought it was just very well made. Yeah, little things. It could have been better, but it's not easy to do.
No, I'm sure being as they did everything with natural light and everything, they probably lost a lot of money redoing a lot of shots.
Yes, well, the Indian attack at the very near the beginning of the film, one of the more amazing tracking shots I've ever seen in a film.
This movie's definitely going to get some awards.
It should.
Yeah.
It should. It's breathtaking to look at.
Maybe Leo will get something this year. I don't know.
Probably. Well, probably not. With
Tom Hardy will.
Tom Hardy should.
Yeah.
He should. Fitzgerald is one of the more interesting antagonists.
Well, he also has, the most dialogue out of anybody in the entire film. And even then, he's not really talking all that much. He does have some lines, but I wasn't even getting to that, which I don't even mind that. But he just doesn't. There's just not a lot of dialogue in the film. They did a good job of showing you what you need to know, as opposed to having to sit there and speak it out to you. All the dialogue was well done, I think.
Yeah, but there was not a whole lot of it.
Which is why
a lot of grunting, a lot of groaning, a lot of crawling,
which I was fine with.
And this film does not have exposition.
No, but
very cut and dry.
It seemed as though this man was destined to die, but refused to. And I just think that it gets to a point where I'm like, okay, I get it. He's tough. That's already been clarified 3 to 4 other times before, but
we're still gonna watch him
fall off a cliff or
almost drown in a river, go over a waterfall,
had to sleep in a horse. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. It's just like
we get it already.
Yeah, although I don't dislike any of the scenes, I just think it was kind of redundant. The last fight, the actual confrontation between Fitzgerald and Glass, I was literally gripping my leg in the theater because it's just so intense and raw, and it's just very real.
I had the arm of the chair. I was definitely on the arm of the chair. Both times I saw it.
Very, very, very raw.
Yeah, that's even more so than the bear scene in a lot of ways. Because
it's also real people.
Yeah, exactly. It's two people actually going at it,
and two of the best actors I think in this
working
generation.
Today. Yeah, absolutely. And they're going at it. They're kicking. They're stabbing. They're hacking.
Fingers come off. People get stabbed, and then you get to see someone get scalped.
Oh yeah.
So even though there are spoilers, we are being at least vague for you.
Yeah,
that's the kind of spoilers I don't want to get into. Is some of the stuff that comes out of Fitzgerald's mouth at the end of the film. You just need to hear for yourself. And then it goes back to a previous encounter that he'd had with a different character in the film who, in case you couldn't have guessed, died. When you go into this, just imagine anyone that ever meets Leonardo DiCaprio and wants to help in any way, they're not going to make it.
Let's talk about the supporting cast. Because you always you want to have great stars, but I also felt that the captain, Domhnall Gleeson.
He was great.
I thought he was excellent. He also played
really
General
Hux
at the end.
In
Star Wars.
Yeah, which when you told me that, when you told me that, I clearly saw it. But before I was told, for some reason, I never made the connection. Yeah, the beard definitely, because I think he looks really young as Hux, but with the beard, he totally looks like he could be who he is in the film.
Rugged outdoorsman, and I thought he did a great job.
I think he kind of came across less of a rugged outdoorsman, but more of a higher class kind of, because he's in the
right. But he goes out with the men.
So he goes out with them, but he
knows how to handle himself.
The way that they portray him, the way that at least Fitzgerald speaks to most people, is that they don't know what they're talking about. So they kind of give you the idea that like maybe he hasn't been out and about as much, which is actually why Glass's character is involved in the first place. He's kind of leading them around.
He's the guide. Yeah, he's supposed to keep them safe.
The one actor I don't really like in the film, Glass's son,
Hawk.
Yeah, I wasn't
completely sold.
Yeah,
he did a lot of sulking. He did a lot of sulking.
I just didn't. I guess it wasn't so much as acting as much as I didn't like the character. Yeah, and it's not that I even hated the character. I just felt that due to things that they show through flashbacks, that he should be a bit more resilient and maybe a bit less of a whiny kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely had. It definitely did not feel like someone had been raised.
Not even in that world.
No,
let alone by Glass. Like Leo's character, he's much more of a resilient person, and the son, I don't know, doesn't seem to listen very well either. I mean, Leo has to tell him a few times to just shut up.
I guess I agree with you there. The actor, I didn't have a problem with the actor, but the way the character was written was a little off.
I feel like he should have been more resilient. I'll leave it that way.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit...
a bit tougher.
Yeah, he didn't quite feel like he belonged out in the middle of the wilderness trapping animals for pelts.
He seemed constantly confused, and like he constantly needed guidance by his father. Otherwise, he just seemed basically useless. He didn't really seem to know how to handle himself. He seemed like he knew how to be around his dad.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
The one kid, don't remember his name.
Bridger.
Man, you remember everything. This is great. We're going to make a good team.
I've seen it twice.
No, well,
I ought to remember. Then now there's going to be something I don't remember, and then you're going to harp on me for the rest of the evening.
Yes, probably. But even though I feel like his character wasn't super necessary to the film, we discussed it on our own. He never really has like a point in time where he does anything that really...
substantial, anything noteworthy.
Yeah. It's like he leaves a moral backing at one point that conflicts with Fitzgerald, who he's basically paired up with through the majority of the film. But then even though he has the opposing views, he never does anything with them, so it just kind of becomes pointless, really. But his acting, I think, was very well done, because he is supposed to be a young kid who's not really treated very well at the beginning of the film and is somewhat indebted to Fitzgerald.
Yes.
And I actually think his acting, I've seen him in other films and I wasn't a huge fan, but he was never a leading role anyway, so I think he did very well in that character.
He fit the bill, but like you said, the character wasn't maybe all that noteworthy, but
well, to get into other facts, the reason why I told you I think they even put him in the film to begin with, aside from the fact that you said that Fitzgerald needs someone to talk to, because otherwise Like,
there would be no dialogue.
Because that's really it. There's really nothing in between separation and getting back to camp at that point. You need
something.
So some fill. The kid, I think, was put in the movie because he was a real person. I'm not sure about the age or anything, but Screen Rant does a thing talking about the actual endings that you'll never see of some films, and Fitzgerald actually joins the army, and there's no closure to the situation. Glass, Leo's character, he does get attacked by a bear, and then he's left for dead by 2 men, and he basically survives, trying to get, I suppose, revenge, and gets back, and Fitzgerald's already joined the army, and the kid didn't really know what was going on, so he just kind of goes off on his own. He didn't really want revenge on him. So in reality, I'm not even sure if the real Glass ever had a kid, and he never got his closure. He ended up actually dying apparently 10 years later in a different attack with Native Americans. So it's not as good of a movie.
No, not as nice a story. Not as
There's a rock
story,
though, with like his story on it somewhere. So something similar to that. I'm not exactly sure. I just know his name and pictures on it or something like that.
Oh, okay then.
Just watch Screen Rant. They're better at this.
Everything else about the film is
pretty spot on.
Absolutely brilliant. So just to sum it up, definitely I recommend you go see it if you haven't already.
You definitely go see this movie.
I'm not 100% sure if I'll be buying it when it comes out.
I probably will.
I'm
definitely looking forward to some special features. If there's some good special features, I don't know how you can't buy it.
I guess, yeah, if they're going to give us a nice documentary on how the bear scene was done.
I'd like to just see any kind of behind the scenes with the actors. I mean, if we get snowed in or something, that's like the greatest movie in the world to sit down all day and watch.
Like, my day doesn't look so horrible anymore.
No, trust me, it won't.
So, overall, I'll give The Revenant a 4.5 out of 5.
I was going to say the exact same thing. So,
well, there you go. It's definite.
Yeah, for sure. But before you go see it, just be prepared to see some raw meat being eaten.
Yeah, if you're a little squeamish, like me, just be ready. Like, bring someone, hold their hand.
Tightly.
Hold them tight.
Don't touch me.
Sorry.
So, before we leave, though, I would like to say, in the background, you'll see that we need money for food. We don't actually, but I was just recently finishing up a short film that I was shooting. It's called Home of the Brave. It will be out soon, and I'll leave a link in the description once it's out. Thank you.